So this evening we're gonna leave Pesachim and enter the world of the supernatural. It's a concept called zugais. There's a shloh that I looked at. I have no idea what he's talking about. Zero. I have no idea what he's talking about. Zero. Oh, it's bad. But the concept of a zug is that it's the idea of yichid. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's yachid ba'olamo, right? So anytime there's a two, it's not necessarily that there isn't chas v'shalom some another deity called dualism. They used to believe in that dualism, but there's only one. But any two, because of that, seems to have a capacity to weaken a person's mazel to some extent. Meaning, either can be overtaken by a shade, or worse than that, by kishuf. Now, most of this stuff in this is above our pay grade. It's really just it's not the Shlomo Derech HaTeva. We'll do the Gemara, and I'll show you a Tosfos that says you don't have to worry about we don't. The Gemara says we're not chayish for it unless it's very simple. If you're makbid on it, then you got to worry about it. If you're not makbid on it, you don't. Similar to Ayin Horos. People say this thing about Ayin Hora. If you're worried about it, then you worry about it. If not. I mean, it's such an idea. So it's a very strange. Very, very strange. Very, very weird. And we'll do it. So we'll start. We're up to Kuf Tes Amid Beis. Up to Kuf Tes Amid Beis, the two dots, smack in the middle of the daf. It says, arba, you should not go ahead and give to the ani less than 4 kaises. You should not give to the ani less than 4 kaises. Now spread the Gemara kasha right away. Heichi mitakne rabbanon midid yosabel de sakana. How could Rabbanon go ahead and be attacking something that will bring you to a sakana? Because again, we're worried about shadim and kishuf, which are both the things that can damage you or worse, kill you. Ivatanya. La yochel odam trey. You should not eat things of 2. La yishta trey, nor drink 2. La yikaneach trey, nor when he wipes himself after the bathroom twice. La yaset tzrochav trey, nor you should have tashma shamita twice. So you see that there's a problem of zugais. So how could they go ahead and not only 2, but any multiple of 2, 4, 6, 8, and we'll see different days, right? So Amrav Nachman, and for the Gemara, Amrav Nachman Amakra says Leil Shimurim. Leil HaMishumar, right? Uba min HaMazikim. It's a leil that you are Mishumar, from any Mazikim, usually are Shadim. It's a Balaturim, fellas. One of the reasons you say Kriya Shema Lamita, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. The first letter in Kriya Shema is Shin. The last letter is Echad, is a Dalid. So Kriya Shema Lamita says the Balaturim protects you from Mazikim, protects you from Shadim, what we call shadim. The Gemara when uses the lashon mazikim, that's what we call the shade. We call something that's called a shade. So leil hamishuma, meaning usually you have to worry about these things, but this night you don't have to worry about these things. Therefore, we can be talking for. I heard from my son, Yehona's son, a wonderful interpretation from Moshe Aaron Friedman, as I was saying, his son. So he's a Rosh Yeshiva in the Ram in Mir Yerushalayim. He said that. When do we say Shafay Chamascha? After we pour the 4th cup. In other words, we announce the Zug because we poured the 4th cup, right? We're announcing it. And then we go ahead, open the door, and we say Shafay Chamascha. That's the Raya Leil Shimurim. We could have done it between the 3rd and the 4th, right after the 3rd. We have to do it when? After we pour the 4th, to show that it's like a Zug, and we're not worried. So it's a good explanation of Leil Shimurim, right? Why we dafka do it then. Now you have something to say with them, By that time, you usually shot, you say something. Anyway. What?
You're looking at the 4th coast.
Yeah, the 4th coast. Anyway. Rabbi says, Klei Shel Bracha, Mitztarach L'Toiva. Another teretz, so Rav Nachman's teretz is Leil Shimurim. And Rabbi Omer, Klei Shel Bracha, Mitztarach L'Toiva. Ve'ena Mitztarach L'Ra. In other words, what makes the 4th cup? Number 3. The Kaishal Bracha of benching is not considered by the Cheshbon. In other words, we don't even start to make it 4, not. So we'll leave it wide, it's 3. So therefore, you don't have a problem with Zugais. It's not 4 cups, it's only 3 cups. It's not a star. meaning the Indian zug, right? The Indian, whatever the heebie-jeebie stuff of zug is, this birchas and mazayim, which is the bracha, is like you have the numerical thought, Avrami, but you don't have the zug. You understand? There's something in the zug, right? You don't have it. You don't. Can it zayin that what from this special bracha should come it out? It's a good way to explain it. You got a numerical thought, but you don't have a zug. What? Again, we don't care about sukkahs. You'll see. Don't worry about sukkahs. Besides lechem, what? I'm saying lechem mishnah is again. If you're saying lel shimurim, so lechem mishnah. So I understand. If God put down lechem mishnah, right, He wasn't worried about sukkahs. Right? I mean, we do it because of the month. So if it's zeichel leman, you don't have to worry about it. Once it has a makar inside, it has a makar. Yeah, leil shimurim says makar. Okay, so Ravina Amar third teretz. Why am I not worried about zugas? Ravina Amar arba kosei takin rabbanon derech eris kol chad v'chad mitzvah ba'apei nafshehu. Guys, it's not pshat 4. It's pshat 1, 1, 1, and 1. Each one is a separate bracha. Each one is a separate mitzvah. So therefore, it's not 4 kosos. It's 1, 1, 1, and 1. And with that teretz, we'll understand. We'll ask a kasha. You said that Tashmish Hamita, you're saying twice is a zug. Each one is a separate act, right? Says the Gemara, Layasit Tzrachav, the Tashmish Hamita, Trey, Amai Nimlachu. He's like Nimlach means it's not mitzaref. Like he changed his mind and he had Tashmish the second time. So it's not a zug. So here's what the Brisa meant. Layoichal Trey, V'yishta Trey. You shouldn't eat 2 things. You shouldn't drink 2 things. Layasit Tzrachav. And you should not go ahead and do tashmish afilupam achas even once after you drink twice, because dil machalish, maybe you'll go ahead and be weakened umiyasra, and you will put yourself in danger. In other words, the tashmish will weaken you that the zug could go ahead and affect you. That's what it means. And answer to your question, I'm much better teretz. And answer your lechem mishnah question. Lechem mishnah is not a zug; it's 2, but it doesn't say you have to eat 2. Lo yoichal trey, lo yishta trey. The 2 isn't the zug; it's eating 2. So again, you have lechem mishnah doesn't mean you have to eat both of them, right?
Yeah, but
you have to eat one of them.
You're supposed to be baitzeh from both of them, no?
Who says?
There's a sheet that says you're supposed to be baitzeh from both.
There's a sheet. Okay, there's a sheet. There's some people say other things as well, right?
Correct.
Good. Very good. There's a sheet. So that sheet, you have to be samech on lechem mishnah that the Torah says it. But
also, it's lechem mishnah. It's 1. It's a zecher for the mon that was not.
Okay, that I said is 1 teretz, but I think it's a better teretz. It says you shouldn't eat 2, so don't eat 1 of them. Cut up one, and eat. Who knows? Anyway, weiter. Tan Rabbanan. Shoysa kiflayim. If you drink twice, a double, damay b'roishai. Your blood is on your head. In other words, you put yourself in sakana. Amrav Yehuda emisai bizman shlei roa pnei ashuk. That's when you don't see the street. In other words, if you drink twice without seeing the street, then you got a problem. Go outside. Aval roa pnei ashuk just biyadai. If you go ahead, and you drink and you go out and take a look and then you drink again, but it works out. It works great. Okay, we have
this.
We have.
They have that.
Yeah, but again, I don't know if the suit goes beyond a certain point, Ari. Rav Ashi, Chazina leila Chananya bar Bibi, we saw Chananya bar Bibi, the akol kasa on each and every cup, having nafik, the chazi ape shuka. Each one he would go out, he wouldn't keep a cheshbon. This one, he would go out on each and every one. Lo yamar no lot says the derech. That means only the zug is a problem if you're going to go on the way. Alva Beisai, if you're going to stay in the house, it's not a problem. Alva Beisai Lloyd, then the zug is not a problem in the house. There's no questions on this. If you understand this, if anyone understands this, you can sit in my place, guys. I'm just reading the words, right? You got here, it's Talmud Bavli, right? We're doing this.
Anytime zuggers, don't ask questions.
Huh? Anyway, so Amar Rav Zera, Ulashon, but the sleep is kolatzis l'derech dami. The sleep is like you go it's like going on the way and you'll be endangered. Amar Apa v'latzis l'beis hakisei Like kilotz is the derech dummy. Going out to the base of kisei again is like going out to the derech. But with base loy for harava money kashuri. What do you mean you don't have to worry in the house? Rav used to count the beams. In other words, if Rav was drinking, in order to keep a cheshbon of how much he would drink, he would go, oh, what's the light? 1, 2. You know, he would count the lights to make sure that he drank an odd number. He's in the house, so you see that what you have to worry in the house. When Bai would drink one kos, his mother, you know, it wasn't by his mother, it was his nanny, right? He was raised by a nanny, right? Would hold 2 cups that he should keep cheshbon, make it 3. Trei kosi betray yadei, 2 cups in 2 hands. Rav Nachman, and this is in the house. Rav Nachman by Yitzchak Kaviyavishasi Trei kosi minkak leishame chad kosi. When he drink 2, the shamas would hold 3. In other words, they make sure to ensure that they would drink an odd number. It's the beislay, and you told me zug bebeisay what is not. It says chad kosi minkak le trei kosi betray yadei. So again, if you drank 1 cup, is 2. In other words, if you drank 2 cups, 1 cup. 2. The bottom line is that the sum total should be 3. And for the Gemara, Adam Chashiv shiny. And Adam Chashiv is different. Adam Chashiv is different than Mazikim on Moise Nefesh. If you look at crazy Rashbam, guys, third line down, gets wide, third line down, all at the end of the line. Adam Chashiv shiny. The Masre Shadim Nafshayu Lazuke. Shadim a Moise Nefesh to damage them. Shadim a Moise Nefesh to damage them. The earliest I have of this is Avram Avinu by the Akedah. Avram Avinu, Adam Chashiv is not supposed to go out alone at night. Why? Because he got to worry about Mazikim. So why did he take 2 in case one had to go to the bathroom? That's why he took along Eliezer and Yishmael. But you see that the source that you had to worry about Shadim then, that the inyan of an Adam Chashiv, the shade will go ahead. Moisa Nafshayo, there'll be Moisa Nefesh, Rashbam, is that Lashon? Moisa Nefesh to go ahead and get you.
They don't really don't have a nefesh.
What?
It's interesting lushes. They're really not nice. They don't have a nefesh.
I don't know if they have a nefesh. I don't know what a shade is. I don't know what a shade is. You may know. I don't know what a shade is. I don't know. I don't know what a shade is. Chassid, maybe a Chassid. No, listen, but they don't know the shade. Again, it's who knows what they are. What?
Why did Yankov go out? He didn't go back.
Did he have trouble?
He had trouble.
Good, very good. So now you got the answer to the question. Says Gemara.
He did.
Again, you'll ask him. Now, says the Gemara Vaita. Maybe it's like to see him, you'll ask him. Why'd you go? The whole game, speak of it's Thursday night, I'm tired and cranky. You had to give us more. Okay, be quiet. Leave me alone. I'm tired, I'm cranky. Not enough. I've been licking in seminary garbage the whole week. Give me a break. You know, come on, let's go. Anyway, so Amarula. Listen.
It's
No
being
one watches it anyway.
recorded. You may want to erase that from the recording.
Amaula. No one watches it anyway. Asara Kaisais ain't ben mishum zugais, guys. Asara Kaisais in the base Avel, the Gemara in Ksubis speaks about Asara Kaisais in the base Avel, ain't ben mishum zugais, even though it's a multiple word of 10, which is a multiple of 2. Ula Tamei Ula, according to this reasoning, the Amma Ula Vimila Masisa Tana Asara Kaisais to Kinu Chachamim the base Avel the Isal Kedaitach Asara Kaisais Yeshim mishum zugais Hechi Kaimer Rabbanim Betiknu Milsa the Asla De Sakana. How could they? Ella must be the what that you don't have to worry about it. So the Mashah says that by 10 is a Davar Shebek Kedusha. You know, by 10 the Shechina is rest. Right, that's right. 10 people come to learn. The Shechina comes before. 10 is the minyan. You could say Hashem's name by Mizimun. So therefore, by Asara, that you don't have to worry about what about this heebie-jeebie stuff.
What are these Asara Kaisis?
Yeah, we'll get the Kesubas. We'll get it. I will Timnaya. But Timnaya yesh behem mishum zugais. Timnaya 8 is you have to worry about zugais. The Chistav Rabba Rav Huna Damit Ravayu Shalom Letoiva Mitzdarif L'Ro Lo Mitzdarif. Now, you say what do we say? Birchas Kahanim Yivrech Hashem Yishmecha Yosh Hashem Yisa Hashem Alecha V'Yasem Lecha Shalom. Right. So it's what
357.
So Shalom is 7, right? So that's 7. It will only be mitzdaref l'toiva, but it won't be mitzdaref l'ra. In other words, that 7 will never combine to make 8. But if you're 6, it'll combine. I'm saying it'll be mitzarif. It'll combine. It won't be mitzarif l'rod to make 8. So shalom l'toiva mitzarif. In other words, let's say you'll combine it to put you over the top, and you won't have a zug, but it won't be mitzarif to create a zug. Look at the Rashbam, guys. About 5 lines down. Shalom teva shviasi. It's the 7th letter. D'chsiv Yisashem l'toiva mitzarif. Im shasa shisa v'shasa hashvi mitzarif levatel hazugos. Avaloy l'ra shem yishtekay shmini acharav ein shmini mitzarif al hashvi lahazik. Usvarahu kivin shebirchem b'shalom shu teva shvius ein shem hezek ba'olam. So here, guys, it'll if you go ahead and you drink 6, so you drink 7, it'll count as 7 that you won't have a zug. If, however, you drink an 8th one, it won't be mitzaref with number 8 to make it even. It'll remain 7. So it plays both sides of the fence, right? Number 7 plays both sides of the fence. 7's Mickey Mantle.
Yes. Seven is
Ed Cranepool also.
Same.
Yeah.
6 is the zug, so 7 of course is not a zug. It breaks the zug.
Right.
7 automatically breaks.
No, but the chiddush is that if it's not mitzaref, you're not going to count it for the 8. You are going to count it for the 6. In other words, okay, watch. Okay, watch. Okay, watch. You're right. In other words, it's not such a chiddush that it breaks the 6, right?
Right.
But you might think since it doesn't count to the 8, it might not count to the 6 either. Right? You play both sides, right? Okay.
He stuck to baseball.
Anyway, Ken O'Brien, before your time.
Michael Vick and Roethlisberger and John Elway was.
Anyway, so Aval Shisa Yesh Behem Mishum Zugais. Shesh does have Zugais. Rabbi Yosef Mitzavayu, Vichuneka is the 5th. L'toiva mitzaref, l'roloi mitzaref. So what? So again, so you won't have 6 either. It'll break 4, but it won't go ahead and get up to 6. Aval Abra Yesh Behem Mishum Zugais. 4 you would have. Abai Brahman Mitzavayu, V'yishmerecha. Right? V'yishmerecha is l'toiva mitzaref. This is 3. And the roloi mitzaref. So therefore you don't even have 4, you only have 2. For the Rava Tamei the Rava Afkinu the Rabbanon Arba Kaisais Afagab the Tazik Rava Bavdoi. Rava would give 4 Kaisais even though what it would damage. And like Chashlo and Milsa that Rava got damaged, Dama Hu Mishum the Oisum Bipirkav. He used to embarrass me and Shir, so since that was why he was punished, not because of the Zug. So now it's a little shverlich because Rava, guys, if you go back to the Gemara earlier. Rava just said there's no zug of arba, guys, right? Rava just said there's no zug of 4, only 2, not 4, right? So we begin the Gemara. The Gemara says, "Well, you shouldn't give less than 4 kaisais." And they asked the Gemara right away, "How can you matakin something that's going to lead you to a sakana?" Correct? So we had the territory of Nachman, the Leil Shimurim, 3 lines from the bottom. Rava Omar kaishal brachim mitzaref l'tayva. If Rava says Arba is not a zug, why is he giving a teretz? You just said now a zug is only 2. Yes, the kasha 4, and Rava is giving a teretz. If Rava held that it's not a zug, why is he bothering you a teretz? And for the Rashbam, there's 2 inyani by zug you have to worry about: the shadim and the kishuf. When the Gemara says here that 4 is not a zug, that's only inyan mazikim, inyan shadim. But kishif, a witch putting a spell on you, that's even 4. So in other words, the Gemara is saying over here, 8, 6 going down, that's only le'inyan shadim, le'inyan kishuf, that the witch could use zugs to go ahead and put a spell on you, that you would have to worry about. And that was Rava was coming to answer earlier. That's where the Rashbam answers the kasha. It's a shvera kasha. Says the Gemara Vaita. Amar Rav Yosef, Amar li Yosef Sheda. Yosef speaking to Yosef the Shade. Yosef speaking to his namesake. Ashmedoi Malka the Sheda, right? So Ashmedoi, the king of all the Shedim. You know, Ashmedoi, you meet him in Masech Gittin, very famous with Shlomo Melech. He took Shlomo out, right? Ashmedoi took him down. Mamuna hu akula zuga. He is mamuna. He is in charge of all the zugas. Umalka lo ikri masik, and a malka is not ikri masik. In other words, you don't have to worry about it because it's beneath him to be busy with you. Ikri the army la haigis the adarabba. Malka raschonahu. He's an angry guy. Umay the boy of it, and whatever he wants, he does. Shamelch peretz geda lastly derech. A melech can knock down a fence, go ahead and do whatever he wants. So this is ashmadai. He'll do whatever he wants. No one's going to stop him. So you really have to worry about zugais. Amra Papa Amr Yosef Sheda. Yosef Sheda told me betray katlinon, right? But two zugas we can kill, but arba loy katlinon. But arba maskinon betray bein b'shoigig bein b'mezid. The arba b'mezid in b'shoigig loy. The ishtali the ikri, and if you forget and you go out and you let's go you forget you go start going to derech and you ate and you had a zug you had drank a cup of two. The nafik might kante what should you do? Limka gzak for the day the amina biyad the smaila. Take your right thumb and stick it in your left palm, and biyad the gzak for the smila biyad the yamina like this. Take this and this and go like this. Put it together. The thumbs in your palm. Name alay and v'nei mahachi asain v'ana hatilsa. You and I are three. Bishmil leidama asain v'ana ha'arba. The cups were two. I'm three. And if you hear the shade say, and I'm four, right? You hear the shade say, and if you hear this, you got big problems, right? It says it's four. Nimalon, Oislan Vana Hachamisha, and I and you are five. Bishmile Dama Oslan Vana Hashisa, namely Oslan Vana Hashiva, we're seven. Abiyuvda Ad Meya Bachad, they kept on going until what? Meya Bachad. Meya Bachad, Upaka shaded, the shade died. And it kept on going back and forth. I know. So Ben Yehoidas is a beautiful shot. The gematria of Michael is 101. Michael is the Malach Chesed. So that took care of that. Amr Amema. Amrli Rish Tine Dinashim Kashvanias. The head sorceress, the head Machashefa. You know, Machashefa is Machashefa. Means a witch. We don't use it in that context, but that's what it means. Haiman the Pagabahu Binoshim Kashvanias. Anyone who meets up with a witch, name a hachi. And this, I don't have an exact translation, but bear with me. Chari chamimi bidikula baisa. Should have hot saya, hot feces in a torn basket. The pumaychu nashi the charaishasa, that to be in the mouth of these people. Korach karchichi, bald. You should lose the hair and be bald. Parchichi, your breadcrumbs should be they should be spread. Breadcrumbs they say can put a spell on you if you're not makbid on pirurim. So your breadcrumbs should be on the base. Ivtud to naichi, and your spices should be scattered. Again, they must use this for spells. Parcha zika l'marika, and the wind should scatter your saffron. Chadasi saffron. The nachtisu nashim kishvanias. Adachanani v'chanani nachi loy asisi lagoy hashta the asisi lagoy karchani v'chanchini. Initially, when I had favor, I found favor. Now I don't even find favor with myself. Look at Rashbam, guys. Adachani chanchi loy asisi lagav kolz man shechasu alay min hashmayim. As long as they had mercy upon Shmayim, v'ani chasisi alatzmi, and had rachmanas myself. Atam chasisi alay, you had rachmanas on me. Like basi beinechem, you didn't come between us. But hashta the asis lagav karchani v'chanachi. Hashta that I came between you and yodei anishin iskaru alay rachmicha, that I don't have rachmanas on myself. V'gam rachmin iskaru shlei chasi alatzmi. Very interesting. But in Eretz Yisrael, here's the key, guys. In Eretz Yisrael, they weren't makbid on zugos. Rav Dimi min ardoi kapid afilu arushma de chavisa, even marks on a barrel. He wouldn't protect from a barrel that had marks that the gradations were in even numbers. There was an uvdu paka chavita, and the barrel it broke. Call the milsa. What's the clow? Call the kapte bahadei. Anyone who's makbid on them, they're makbid with him. With the loy kapid, someone's not makbid on zugos, loy kapte bahadayu. Now here is a very, very, they throw the words in, umiu lemechish mi boy. Even if you're not makbid, you should be chayish for it. Again, these are if you goyrus this, then it's problematic, right? If you goyrus this, it's problematic that you have to be chayish for this stuff, right? There is people who are not goyrus this. I have a Tosfos. I've written my Ksavim. There's a Tosfos that I have. I'm going to bring it up. Here's the lashon of Tosfos in Yuma. In Yuma, the Gemara is discussing shifta. It's shift that's on your hands. Pirush Rabbeinu Rashi, ruach roah hashar al yadayim shlei notlan shachris. If you don't wash your hands in the morning, you have shifta on your hands. For Rabbeinu Tam Mefarish, the beloy nesinas pas latinoik mutal lital yadav shachris b'yom kippurim. If you don't give pasta to a chinoik, you're able to go ahead and wash your hands. Like barim, it's not worse than having what feces on your hands or dust on your hands. So it goes through this whole thing about shifta, this ruach ruah on your hands. Now he goes through the whole thing. The last line in Tosfos, guys, listen to this, right? Why the oilam is not makbid to wash their hands by shachris? We're not talking about until Yadayim when you wake up in the morning. We just stop washing your hands. The fishein oisa ruach ruah shoira be'elu hamalchuyos. This ruach ruah does not reside in medieval Europe. In the Middle Ages, it doesn't reside there. Kimo she'enos harim ala gilui. Just we're not nisr on gilui. When you leave a liquid out overnight, we know where it's snakes going ahead right and taking a drink. That right is a losh of gilui. We don't worry about that. And va'al hazugais, and we don't worry about what zugais. That's so he wasn't goyrus that b'chayiv. He says Tosfos clearly says here in it's ayin. If you're interested, ayin zayin. Amid Beis. There's only one Tosfos on the page. At the end of Tosfos, Tosfos clearly says that you don't have to be chayish for it all because it's not sure the sukkahs don't have an impact upon us. Which again is it's good news because if not, Ari, think about how many beams you'd have to count in your house. You know.
We have to build a new house.
Rabbi, didn't we say that the reason why you do the 3 times on each hand is because that ruach ruah is makbid not to leave for 3 times?
This is not speaking about that ruach ruah. That's the ruach ruah that's sharing your hands when you sleep. This is a different one.
Okay.
This is a different one. That was ruach ruah that's sharing your hands when you sleep. This is a different one. Okay, again, that Bez Hashem we'll do that when we get to Masechta Yuma. The key point was the bottom line of the Tosfos, right? The key point, bottom line of the Tosfos is that you don't have to, because according to this Gemara, Mechash Chayish, you have to keep in mind, you have to worry something about it. But now, Baruch Hashem. What? Yeah, it's Shadim in Bracha, sure. In the first parak, you had Shadim, sure. You're busy with Shadim. Again, it's the Churva, right? Hitler, chicken feet. No one ever saw his feet. Whatever. Kiyasar of Dim Yoma, Shtei Beitzim, 2 eggs, Shtei Egoizim, 2 nuts, Shtei Kashum, 2 gourds, the Davar Acher, and something else which we don't know, Halach L'Moshe Sinai. So Malach Moshe Sinai. So that you have to worry. However, Mistapik L'Rabbanon, Ma'inin or Davar Acher. We don't know what that Davar Acher is. Because the Rabbanon the Kulei Zugei, and we go on all Zugais, Mishum Davar Acher, because it is one thing. In other words, if we would know clearly, the eggs we noticed not 2, egoizim nuts not 2, kishuim. If we would know what the davar acher is, then there'd be no problem in food, in the food zugos. The whole reason we worry is because why? We don't know what it is. Now the question is, why don't you go after roiv? And the answer is, roiv is a din in issa, not sakana. But mokum sakana, you don't go after roiv. This is a sakana. In other words, roiv is a din in bavarnig a suffix. But this is again, if it's a din in sakana, that's more odd if we don't go after roiv by sakana. That we said on the Amid Aleph that 10, 8, 6, and 4 you don't have to worry about a zug. That was our teretz in Rava. That would make sense why Rava answered up the 4 cases, because he had to answer up. Why aren't we worried about what? Why aren't we worried about why are we worried about zugais if it doesn't exist? So of course you have to worry about kshafim, even the higher numbers. Kihoda who gaved it was this person, the Gorshal Bisai. He divorced his wife. So in Sabal she married the Chenvani. Then the Chenvani did multiple jobs. It wasn't just a grocery store. It was a bar. They sold lottery tickets. It was a busy place. Anyway. Kol Yom Havi Azol, he would Glashasi Charma. Each day, the ex-husband would go there and he would drink. Havi Ka'av the Lake Shafim, so the ex-wife, the Michashefa, Taka went ahead and she tried to put a spell on him. He was very careful. So I see, it's like Zug. I learned Pshat, whatever it is, it seems to be weaken your immunity, your spiritual immunity. Everyone has a mazel. I'm not sure this is true, guys. I'll throw this out to you. I'm not sure this is true, but I've seen this big stuff. Where does the koyach hatuma come from? We know there's a koyach hatayr, there's a koyach hatuma. Right? So there's a sefer hachinuch, and when it speaks about kishuf, when it speaks about basa b'cholov, when it speaks about taruvis, he says everything in this world has a malach keneged and shemayim, and Hashem doesn't want the mixtures in this world to be mixed together, because when they get mixed together in this world, in shemayim they get mixed together. Those koyachas. That's the koyach hatuma. The koyach hatuma comes from that mixture. So there are things that impact upon the mazel of a person, the malach of a person. So the zug can weaken the person's mazel for something to impact on. So it's not the zug itself that does the damage; it's the zug that allows the shade to do the damage, or the zug that allows the kishuf, the witch, to do the damage, but it itself doesn't do the damage. In other words, you're playing with fire, you're putting yourself in sakana. Okay, so that's the Indian over here. So this person used to go drinking in the store, and he would be careful, and all the times that it didn't work, right? However, one day, Yom Echad, Ishti Tuva, he drank a lot, and he didn't know how much he drank. At Shitzer, until 16. Havitzal, until 16, Havitzal, he was clear of mind. V'yizdar b'nafshei. Yikan ve'elech lo Havitzal v'yizdar b'nafshei, and Afikse bezuga, he left on a zug. And he also left with his wife's spell coming upon him. Kiyavi Ozil, when he was walking in the street, he met this Arab, and this Arab must have been some type of EBGB guy, because Amalei, he said, Gavra Katilahu the Ozil. There's a dead guy who's walking here. Dead man walking. This guy is dead. He saw his mazel. Also, this person went ahead and I guess he hugged a dekel tree. Savach tiklo upakahu. The dekel shriveled up, and he burst apart. So again, here's an instance where he killed the person. The fact that he left himself susceptible to a spell from Mechashefa. Amar Rav Avira ka'aros, cooked food, the kikros and bread. Ein ben mishum zugos. So this would be another answer to your question. Bread, there's no zugos by lechem mishnah because it's bread. There's no zugos by cooked food. Klala de milsa. What's the klal? Kol shegomru b'dei adam. Anything that is completed by man, ein ben mishum zugos. Gomru b'dei shemayim b'mili amine demaychol chashinan. Chanos ein ben. Okay, so now. So what about yayin? Good question. So Rashbam says yayin you could eat raw. Yayin is goma in the pre-form grape. So since it's completed by shemayim, it's considered. It's good kasha. Very good. The Rashbam missed it. Chanos ein ben mishum zugos. Right? Chanos. In the store you have no zugos, right? What we just saw, the guy was in the store and he blew up. So you have to ein ben zugos. What would be mazikim? But what about kishuf? Yeah. Nimlach ein ben mishum zugos. You change your mind, ein ben mishum zugos, because once you change your mind, each one's a new start. By reach ein ben mishum zugos, again, reach doesn't know how much he's going to get. He drinks one, he thinks that's all he's getting. He gets the second one, says no. Isha ein ben mishum zugos, you never know how much she's going to drink. The isha chashuva chashin, and then she has to be chayish. Amar Abchina Breid of Yeshua, Ispargos. We met Ispargos in Masech the Brachos. It seems to be some aged wine with cabbage. What was that called? Shav? Yehuda, you called it shav?
Shav, yeah.
Yeah. It's liquid green. It's liquid green. Nothing's good about green and nothing's good about liquid. So now, okay. You wash down your chopped liver with is good. Now you have this could start with toiva. It's a healthy drink. So it's like a bracha. It's like koshel bracha. You said koshel bracha could be mitzvah for toiva to take you off a zug, but it can't be mitzvah for ra to create a zug. So to inspire mitzvah for toiva to take you off a zug, an even number. They mitzvah for ra. Amar Avinu Shmeid the Rava Zuge lechumra, v'imila zuge lekula. Let's see the Rashbam here. See the Rashbam. Zuge lekula, zuge lechumra. Okay, the Rashbam is on the first wide line. Im any day im shasa zugais im lab. If you don't know if you drank an even number or not, yishte, drink. Im shasa zugais hoyel v'daita letzarfim mitztarin l'toiva. In other words, if you're, let's say you're on an odd and you think you're on an even, and you drink to get you off the even, it won't be mistarv. Loy shasa zugais nimlach ve'enim mitztarv l'ra. Femila zugay l'kula shalo yishte. You shouldn't drink. In other words, chumra means you do drink to get you off. Kuli means you shouldn't drink to get you off. Amar Yosef, trade the chamra v'chad shekru. If you drank 2 wines and 1 beer, lo mitztarv to be what? To take you off. It's not mitztarv to take you off the zug. In other words, the beer is not choshev. You're stuck on a zug. You're stuck on a zug. Trade the shekru v'chad chamra. If you have 2 beers and 1 wine, how's that? 2 beers and 1 wine. It's the only way you can't say that. 2 beers and 1 wine, mitztarv to make 3 to take you off the zug. Simanecha za klal kol ha'mechubaloi min ha'chama mimenu tamei min ha'kal mimenu tar. Guys, outside the Gemara in Mishnah in Kalim is discussing the shiurim of certain. Some are 5 by 5, some are 4 by 4, some are 3 by 3. So let's say you have a 4 by 4, and you have a 5 by 4. You have a 3. It's 3 by 3, and you have a 5 by 5 to it. So since the 5 by 5 is more makel because it's larger, it won't make the 3 into a 4. But if you have a 3, and it gets adhering to it as a 2 by 2, then it would go ahead. Because since again, the rule of thumb, the smaller it is, the more machmer it is, if it's makabel toma. So therefore, let's say whatever the beinoni is, if the larger is extended, it's not going to go ahead and mitzaref. If the smaller will be mitzaref. So the same thing over here. The more chomer, the wine will be mitzaref to go ahead and push you over the top by the beer, but the beer, which is not a skull, would not be able to push, not be able to create it. So that's the way to remember it. Rav Nachman, I love when the Gemara gives you simanim on things that normally you could remember. They're not so hard, but on the hard stuff you never get a simon, right? Anyway,
So much,
if the drinking, you'll get it. Rav Nachman, Rav, trei kamataka, 2 meals at the table, the taka, and 1 off the 2 before the meal, and 1 at the meal, mitzaref, to take you off. 1 before and 2 at the meal, mitzaref, and you have to worry about sugos. Maskor of Mishashia, Atwananu tik the kuni taka kombinen. We want to go ahead and taka on the table. The kuni gabra binan. The gabra come taken. Because he ate 3 meals. Who cares where he ate them? He ate 3. So why do you want to go ahead and put him? Make him? So the way you're right. So the kuli alma shreya taka v'chad lebasa taka loy mitzaref. If it's 2 on the table and 1 afterwards, it won't combine and it'll be a zuk. Ki ahi maisa the Rabbi Nachmani, like the maisa of Rabbi Nachmani and Rabbi Yehuda. It's a maisa that took place somewhere that I don't know on the bottom. The Rashban brings that there was a maisa in Bab Mitzia. We'll see that happened over there. Okay, well, we can stop over here. We'll do that. Okay, tomorrow the same thing. The usual Friday, I'll pull it out when we finish in the morning. It'll be on. Hopefully, you have a whole day to listen to it. I thank everyone for listening, and I'm sorry for being so